Welcome back to the shop, guys. Today we are going to be working on the rear axle for the Ranger. Waiting on parts to come in for the Cherokee, so we're kind of getting away from that. Like I may have mentioned before, we are going to be rotating through stuff depending on parts availability, what I have in the shop right now. Next episode we might be working on a rototiller, I don't know. So this episode we're just going to try and get this rear axle cleaned up and take all of the components off we can. The e-brake cables, which I might be able to salvage those and save those, and I think from the forum read, this is the e-brake cable we actually need to use anyways. So I need to salvage as much as I can. Some of these brackets I don't know if I need to reuse or not. I'm going to try and save the hard brake lines. If not, I do actually have brake line. I already redid all the brake line on the Ranger when I did the brakes last. So if I need to do that, I got the hose and the flaring tool and everything already, so I can do those. But this episode we're just going to try and clean up. This has been sitting outside for 2 or 3 years now at a friend's house while our house was getting built, and I just hadn't had a chance to bring it over and start working on it yet. So now that I actually have the time to work on it, we're going to start cleaning it up. It is pretty rusty. I have a little torch to help me hopefully get some bolts broke loose. I have been spraying stuff with WD-40 and stuff for a little while just to see if I could get it. I won't probably break the pumpkin open quite yet, so but we'll try and get everything else off. I'll be buying new brake hoses at least, not brake lines. Like I said, I may try and reuse those. I may try and spray some brake clean down them just to get them cleaned out. But let's go ahead and start breaking stuff loose and seeing if we can get it broke apart. We'll see if we can break some lines loose first. I'm going to spray like I said, hopefully, I've been spraying this stuff off and on a little bit, so I'm hoping we can get this stuff broke loose. At least that's my real big hope. Oh, that's just chock full of dirt. That's nice. So let's see how crusty dusty everything is. Let's see if I got enough oomph to break. Crusty dusty. I'm running out of magnetic trays. I need to buy some more. I do want to buy a parts washer for instances like this, especially since I plan on having old, crusty, dusty stuff come through the shop. So that's at least my goal, is hopefully here, hopefully not too long, but don't know for sure. Like I said, budget people, that's what also this channel is kind of not focused on, but about as well, because a lot of guys out there are afraid to try anything because they feel like they can't fit in their budget. If you manage your money right, you can do stuff. Find good deals, wait. Probably should actually leave that in, but I'm glad I was able to get that out though. For as rusty as this thing is, it is coming apart a lot easier than I thought it would. We'll put it that way. I know this video is kind of boring, guys. Not a lot of interesting stuff going on. If I get to an interesting part, I will get you guys a little bit closer. Well, it's a little slow going. To be honest, I don't know what I'm doing fully yet, especially with like these parking brakes. I know roughly how to take them off, but they're just kind of being a little bit of a pain. I did get the brake lines broke loose here. I'm going to put this bolt back in to get this bracket off, and then I got to try and pry these other two tabs up just so I can get the brake line completely off. I got to get this bracket off to whatever it does. I don't think I'm going to need it when I put it underneath the truck. Same way with this one. I think this is for like a sway bar over here. So trying to get those off. I'm going to try and get these brackets off that actually hold the brake hose and hard brake line to each other. Just a bracket on there, and we'll see if we can get it. I'll probably put you guys on a time lapse right now and see how that goes. Like I said, it's just kind of slow going. I don't know what I'm doing with these brake lines, so let's see if I can get it. One side down finally. These are a pain in the butt. I don't know if it's just because this e-brake side was seized, so it kept the lever out for me. But now on to the other side. This is royally being a pain in the butt. As soon as you get it to start moving, it just pops back into place. Royal pain in the butt. Baby hammer. You are not better than me. Edit that so that way I look like I knew what I was doing. Son of a monkey. Okay, with that being said, e-brake cable is gone. I'll probably definitely have to get a new one the way those came out. And like I said, I'm gonna have to redo a lot of stuff on this, but WD-40 some more stuff, just so that way it's hopefully getting better. Now what I'm gonna do next is, I dropped that earlier, sorry guys, is put this bracket back on for now. Sorry, OCD kicks in, or my ADHD, whatever one of those things kicks in, and I just start doing stuff. hard brake line off. I will keep that even if it is bad, so I can mold the new piece roughly to what I need for the new one whenever I get back to doing this. Half-inch 13. We'll see if a little bit bigger bar can get those broke loose. Son of a... Tommy, never getting your big boy ratchet back at this rate. I'm about to just buy it off of you. Sorry, getting some stuff moved. Got too much crap out right now. And then there was a bracket right here. I went and took that off, and another bracket up here. I don't think I'm going to need them. I'm going to hold on to them just in case if I could use them for something or need to use them for something, but as of right now, I don't think I do. I also got both brake hoses taken off both sides. So, like I said, I don't know how the brake line situation is going to work for sure. I may have to reroute, splice, do some weird stuff to get this to work. So, but I will make it work. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start wire wheeling this just to get the big chunks of rust off. There is actually some mud dauber's nests. If you know what they are, technically it's a wasp that just lives in a mud hut. So I've heard them called multiple things, so figured I'd a little bit of information. So I'm gonna start wire wheeling. I'm gonna put you guys up and let you see what I'm doing there, and probably won't get it all finished tonight. This will be a shorter video, but I may try and take the backing plates off if I can. Hopefully I don't break bolts, but the way this is going, I'm gonna douse it heavily with WD-40 before I even attempt to do that. So I'm gonna start cleaning, douse some stuff with WD-40, and we'll get going from there. Doesn't look terrible. I mean, it's not perfect. Looks a lot better than the tubes do right now. So like I said, it's going underneath of a 97 truck, so it's just an easier way for me to get disc brakes than try and pay for a conversion. So I'm gonna keep plugging away. We may switch over and try and take the backing plates off. See if I can take them off without breaking bolts. So yeah. know if you guys can hear that in the background, but I got some thunder rolling in. Yeah, some thunder's definitely rolling in. Yeah, I'm just rounding all of them. Just like with some of the bolts on the Cherokee, same situation. They're just old, brittle. It's just rounding stuff off. So probably gonna end up having to cut these off. But like I said, I'm learning on this axle. I don't know too much about it. It looks like I'm going to have to take the axle out to get this backing plate off. But I kind of want to do that anyways because I want to take off the pumpkin eventually and drain the fluid and clean it up and everything. So I just hope I don't have to take the carrier out to take the axles out. I know this video is probably pretty boring, guys, but waiting on parts sucks, especially when you're on a budget. So I think with that being said, I think we are going to call it a night. I'm going to clock out of my second shift job, and we're just going to pick up maybe on this next time. Maybe do a fluid drain on it, clean it out a little bit, see if we can do that. I may move the axle over so I can actually get all the way around it versus just being stuck to one side like I was during all of this video, which is kind of annoying. So, and I'll have to look up new hardware for my backing plates because I definitely rounded at least 3 of them nuts. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you later.